This POI on 4 hours has not yet been tapped. On 4 hours, market got close to it. This rejection block on 4 hours has not been tapped. So it means that market is leaving this place as an inducement, and market wants to come and visit it once more. So after all that has been said, what can I project? First things first, I expect market to come down one more time, at least to seek liquidity before going to the upside. If market opens this week, next week rather, and we see market flushes to the downside to seek this liquidity here, there's a trend line. I think there's a trend line liquidity here on 1 hour. If market sees this liquidity to the downside, this will mean that they are coming to retest this resistance level, which was also a support level, support level, support level, support level. Now resistance level broken, and market might just come back for it before we push to the upside one more time. Hello traders, welcome to the weekly forecast on gold. Just like I said in last week's video, I mentioned that 4 hours did not tap this rejection block, and so that was the reason I was expecting market to come seek for liquidity down so that we can push up to the place and even beyond. But the pressure was not enough, and market could not get to this last liquidity before we got a massive fall to the downside. And remember, 2 weeks ago, my bias was market pushing up, I'm also pushing down. So, but because of this little information, I needed market to push up one more time before we now got this fall. So it's all good, and we are right on point. Let's see what we have for this week. But before we do that, let's quickly check what day formed the high of the week and formed the low of the week so that we can update our data. So the high of the week formed on Monday, and then this is Monday. And the low of the week formed on a Friday, giving us a total of 620 pips. So let's quickly place that Monday to Friday. Okay. So we can update this to P10 and Friday 11. So we have that, and the total number of pips is 2, 6, 20 pips. Right, so let's go to the weekly time frame before we now start checking what we can expect for this week. So let me delete all this to have it fresh notes. So I checked monthly, nothing on monthly, so we have to just check weekly. So for weekly, we have 2 points of interest where I'm eyeing these points because this weekly rejection has not been tapped yet. Remember, it's just like the 4-hour time frame I mentioned last week that market eventually went to tap before falling. This is also like another example of it. And we also have this OB formed. We have this OB formed, and then we have this rejection block. So these are my POIs on the weekly time frame. Now let's go to daily. But before we go to daily, there is no breakout on weekly, so we can't really have a direction per se. We don't have a direction for now, so we just have to work with what we have. But the only thing is, by the time the next week candle opens, this low becomes liquidity, and I feel like market needs to seek this liquidity. Even if it wants to keep falling, it needs to come down here first. And if it wants to go back up, it needs to come to this place. So it's going to be a little bit dicey. Market might first push up, but don't let me go get ahead of myself. Let me go to daily and see what we have on daily. So for daily time frame, we also have this low standing still, and these are POIs on weekly. Now, do we have a breakout? Yes, we do have a breakout. To make this clear, let me start the breakout from this angle. So when we had the first breakout here, we had the second breakout here, and that was what kept markets to the upside, kept pushing markets to the upside. But the last breakout that market could have had was here. Market failed to take that breakout and came all the way down. There are times that whenever market fails to take a new breakout structure, it comes to, I use the word punish, to punish the low that gave birth to it. It doesn't happen all the time, but most of the times I've observed it and I've seen that it happens that way. So because market failed to take this high and close above this high rather, market decided to seek um, the low and came all the way down. And that's how we started having our breakouts to the downside daily. So we had our first breakout on daily here. This was our first breakout. And then the second breakout was here. And that was nice. Then the third breakout could have been here. But because market failed to close below this low, what happened? It came all the way for this top. So the market pushed up, came to seek liquidity, and now we are back down again. Coming down again, do we have a breakout? Yes, we have a breakout. So we have our first breakout here. First breakout here. That's yeah. So this is our breakout on daily. So our recent breakout on daily is to the downside. What does that imply? If markets is breaking to the downside on daily, we can expect to see more push to the downside before we even expect any reversal at any point. So that's what daily is telling me. Now let's quickly check 4 hours before I make my final decision. So 4 hours, did we get another breakout to the downside here? Yes, we got a breakout on 4 hours to the downside. So 4 hours is also supporting this. Let's mark this out. So 4 hours is supporting this movement to the downside. All right, let's check 1 hour. Now one more time. Okay, so market has been building liquidity on 1 hour. All right, so looking more like there's going to be a movement to the upside before we go back down. So since this is a weekly PY, I can just do a quick refinement of this into this. Let's see if I can refine the one at the top. We can do a slight refinement of this. Yeah, we can do a slight refinement of this into this. Right. Let's check daily one more time. Daily. Right, so we're done. Market tapped this. Okay. So just like we always do, since we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday topping, still topping. Monday is the one topping. It's 10 times showing on my chart. So you really need to pay attention to Monday. Monday is going to probably give you another move that you can expect. So if market is going to be falling all the way to the downside, just know that Monday or Tuesday is going to play a significant role. But if market drops on Monday and pushes up again, just know you play along because the major direction is what you're really concerned about, not the retracements. So let's see if market opens on Monday and pushes up to these points on Monday or Tuesday, we can expect another push to the downside. Can expect another push to the downside. Let me just put it here because if we get this, market is going to reverse back into this. But if market opens and comes to tap this place and refuses to close below this low, it just gives us a tap on Monday, then I'll be going long. I'll be going long at least to this point or this point. Let me make myself clear one more time. I think I will even go with this bias first. So this will be my first bias. The market comes down to tap this place and refuses to close below this low. We'll be going all the way back up. Going all the way back up. But if market opens on Monday and we see a push up first, or even up to this point, then we can expect another push. If we get a push to this point, yes, and the pressure is not that much, we can expect another push to the downside. Oh, it's kind of tricky, but you need to just play along. So market is currently in the middle. I can't really say, but I just need to work with what I have. So Monday, Tuesday will really determine the movement of this market. If market wants to come to this low, Monday and Tuesday has an important role to play. Or if market wants to come back to this top, Monday and Tuesday also have an important role to play. So let's go back to day 1 hour. I want to check something quickly. Okay, if 1 hour closes above this point, then we can see a push up to here. All right. So let's just do it that way. I want to see price come down to take liquidity on weekly, tap the weekly POI, and then let's get the bounce of the zone. Let's get the bounce of the zone. This is what I want to see on Monday. We might get here and push beyond, and we can, just get here exactly. But I want to see this, take liquidity, tap this POI, then push us at least up to these points. That will be my ideal setup for the coming week. All right, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.